All right, then. Welcome back, everybody, to the Zay's Walk channel. My name is Zay, and we have Chris here. And it's been a minute since we've given you guys a movie review, but it is time. This is the review and the report card of him.
We're supposed to look an angel.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to look like an angel.
Yeah,
We're
I
looking at
think.
we're looking at the main poster. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give you a little bit of some background, of what we were, of the anticipation of the film, kind of what we had our thoughts going into it, and then we're just gonna get into the film. So
I didn't want to go to it. That was my anticipation.
Well, yes, we did end up seeing the film in theaters, but we'll give you guys our thoughts in just a moment. As always, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to keep up to get all the latest reviews for the movies and TV shows that we've been watching. So, this is the movie Him. First off, let's get it out the way. This is not a directed by Jordan Peele film.
But he produced it.
He produced it. However, you can tell that, and of course, since he produced it, it's Monkey Paw Productions, his company, that pretty much has their hands on it. So, but the marketing would make you think that it's a Jordan Peele film. Like on all the posters, it says from producer Jordan Peele. So it does make it seem like it is a film by him. It is not. It is by a director named of Justin Tipping. He doesn't have much on his filmography. This is one of his major. This is pretty much one of his, I think, debut films of directing. So it's actually Justin Tipping's film. So we want to put that out first because it has been marketed as a Peele film for the
Because
last.
Peele will get people to the seats.
It will get people to the seats.
And so when things go well, it's all on him, and when things go
Things
bad,
don't go well. Yeah, it is
on
going
him.
to. It is going to get, of course. What was our last movie? I think it was Weapons. I think it was Weapons.
Yeah.
That we did. Yeah, and then at that point
Did we even do one for weapons?
We did, yeah. We talked about it. Yeah, we had that one. For,
Oh,
we
yeah,
had the one
okay,
for Weapons.
okay.
Because remember in that one, I told you that Peele, he wanted his company to
yeah.
have that one. So he's been in the news lately. And then, of course, the last thing is that he pushed back his movie that was supposed to come out next year to later on. So whatever's going on in Monkey Paw Productions, hey, we'll see. Based off this movie, let's take some time in the studio putting things together. But anyways, obviously, we have only seen. Well, at least I've seen one trailer. I've only seen one trailer of the one that came out back in April. That was pretty much it. I've only seen it that back in April, just the initial trailer of it. And it did capture my attention, and it did kind of get both of ours attention, even before Peele, because it's a sports movie, but it's a sports horror movie. But when we have talked about football, because we've watched football for a few years now that we've known each other, we've seen it. We've always thought it was a brutal sport. We've always known it was a brutal sport, but we do not see people talk about the brutality of it in a way that really attacks what we think, which is this seems kind of cultish, almost like, people give up their lives for it. People sacrifice parts, if not entirely who they are, for this sport. Fans get involved. It's a lot. So it'd be interesting to make a movie of it.
I told him I didn't want to see this.
Well, thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
You'll tell, guys, you'll tell when we get into the actual movie. She will let you know her thoughts of it. But just know when we first talked about it, we both agreed it's at least an interesting concept, because how many times do they make a sports movie
They make so
horror
many.
based? A sports movie that's horror based, I would love for you to name
Go
three
to
of them
Shutter.
right now.
No, go to Shutter. There's
I'm not going to Shutter. I'm not going to
Shutter and Tubi got him.
Yeah, no. Not sports movies that are
But they do
barely
have
put together,
them.
but sports horror films. This is different. This isn't
They should
necessarily.
do a basketball one with High School Musical people and trap them in the gym.
That would. That would be. Hey, that'd be
That'd be
That'd be
nuts.
somewhat interesting. But the concept alone of this is enough to get people's attention. Also, the time when it comes out, we figured, it comes out in September. That's when the beginning of the NFL season is. Okay, but many years ago, I think it was a year and a half ago, we had seen a clip that said the infamous line we say it all the time whenever we hear football, which is like, football is modern day slavery. Tell me otherwise, or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah. And of course, it's a joke that's said in passing, but it does have some roots in there. But this movie tries to address A lot of it. It's just the execution that can be done differently. But let's get into our initial thoughts of the film. We'll take it piece by piece as we do, so we can talk about the initial.
I think we can talk about the story as a whole is just a young man trying to make his way into the big leagues of the NFL. That's what the movie's about. It's
Pretty
about
much.
him going there, but it's just showing how much are you willing to take and sacrifice to get there, to be the GOAT, which is what Marlon Wayans is.
Yeah, so Marlon Wayans plays
Because he won
Isaiah.
8 rings, not 7.
Yeah, he won 8 rings. So yeah, just even from the beginning of the film, with Cameron Cade. I want to call him Cade Cameron so badly, but it's Cameron.
Because you're thinking about Belly.
I'm actually not thinking about them. I told you I think about Cade Cunningham, but when it comes to Cameron Cade, yes, from his birth, or even from when he was a child, seeing Isaiah White ascend to the to the rankings of being him of the NFL, he's already told by it, and his father, who's played by
Don Benjamin.
Don Benjamin, yeah, he's pretty much telling him.
Right.
He's pretty much.
It's
Is it Don Benjamin or is it Jesse White?
I think it is.
Is it Jesse or is it Jesse?
No, it's Don Benjamin.
Smollett.
It's Don Benjamin.
The man's not even listed here on the
Just type
credits.
in-
Yeah.
Just type in Leanne V's husband. Oh, never mind.
Nah,
you
it's
can do
gonna
that
it's
too.
gonna be here. It's gonna be here.
I
It's
did
gotta
not
be
know
here.
Julia was in it either.
You're right, Don Benjamin.
Yeah.
Don Benjamin, yeah.
Because I called him something else.
We
and
just
then
saw him
you
in the
had-
Cardi B music video with
And then
Cardi
I was
B and
like,
Kalani.
I think I called him Benjamin Don, or I don't know.
Yeah, you
I
did.
said
You didn't get the Don part, but you said I said Benjamin, but yeah, Don Benjamin plays the dad, and pretty much from the beginning of the film, you can tell that football is everything.
To
The
them.
family loves football.
at least to the dad and like the son. Like he's teaching his sons like,
Yeah.
football. Like the mom's just kind of one of those like, oh, great. Like, okay.
No, she was in it from the beginning. She's like, "This is it." Like the whole family was kind of surrounded by it. They were all dressed up in it, and you can tell even in the beginning the little trinkets of the Saviors. That's the
Yeah.
football team name, is the Saviors. So right from the beginning, the metaphors are kind of slapped in the
Very
face.
slapped on
very
religion.
slapped in the like. This is one of those. It feels like a film student said, "Hey, I want to be a little bit deep and woke, and let's do it in the football sense of the movie." But the concept is there, and we'll get to the mascots because she likes the mascots.
I think
and
they were cute.
I think they were
cute.
all right.
But
they
I
were
love
really
like
thrown
big
in there from
fluffy
the beginning.
things. Like I used to be scared of them though. I used to be deathly terrified. A big bird, oh bitch, I'm running.
Bigfoot is kind of scary though. I'm not gonna lie.
And then you're a
Bigfoot
little
is
kid
kinda
looking up at a
scary
big
as
fucking bird.
As a
It's
kid, I don't
scary.
want to be picked up by. I don't know
Just
why.
like the grimace shade, like that big purple thing that used to scare me
I
too.
mean, Grimace is okay, but I don't know something about
All of
Bigfoot
them
is-
hoodlums,
something
all
about
them
something
hoodlums
huge
with
beaks.
McDonald's,
No,
them,
I don't
all the
like it.
McDonald's bandits or whatever the fuck they called Ronald's people, scary.
I feel like that's what they did.
KFC
Five Nights at Freddy
Colonel.
over is just. But anyways, we're tangent it off for a second. But yes, as we can tell from the beginning, football is everything. We are obviously, if you're familiar with the state of Texas or hell, the South, it's everything. Football is everything in the South in general. I
It's
mean,
literally a religion. For
it's a
some
religion.
people.
It's everything. Like Friday night is Friday night football. Saturday is college football. Sunday is NFL.
Monday's NFL.
Monday's NFL.
Thursday's
NFL. Like it's a thing. It's every single. It's pretty much every other day. But you can tell that since it's ingrained from the beginning. The Isaiah White has a very gruesome injury. So the blood in the horror is really there. His bones sticking out. It's very reminiscent of the college basketball player whose
Kevin
leg was sticking out. If you
Ward.
know, yeah, his leg was sticking out. So and then the offsetting tone of the movie set then because Cade's not like, I'm gonna just call him Cade. Cade's not, as a kid, he's not like grossed out by it. He's kind of looking, and then the dad doesn't even acknowledge the injury. The dad's just kind of like, we
That's
won,
what a real
we
man- no,
won.
he's just like, that's what a real man
No
does.
guts, no glory.
Yeah.
That's the thing that he told him. So he's telling them that from the beginning. Then we cut forward to, of course, Cade getting ready to, he's the star.
The
He's
combine.
supposed to be goes to go to the NFL combine. But what happens to him on a what happens to him when he's training alone?
Yeah,
after
whenever
the coach of the high school or whatever
A
he's at
football
just says,
is
"Peace out."
getting abducted by aliens and twirling around like an egg, and then a big goat comes and slashes his head, I guess.
Yeah, like
or
like
hits him
someone
across
in
the
a
head.
giant goat or like animal costume.
Yeah, it was
hits
an
him
animal.
upside
I
the
don't know what
head
animal it was. It was brown.
with like a giant like axe or pitchfork type
and
of
then
thing.
fucks his head up, and we're thinking, oh, is this not real? Is this real? But then it is real because he does have stitches, and he did actually get hit in the head. Will that play importance later? Not really.
Wow.
It's not.
It gets addressed and comes up later, but in the beginning, you are wondering what's real and what's not. Goes to the combine, and honestly, in the first 30, I would say in the first 30 to 45 minutes of the film, before we even get to Marlon Wayne's Isaiah Wright being introduced, I was just fine and okay with showing this. Okay, he has a head injury. He's going to the combine. When he's sitting in the chair and he's getting his hair cut by the barber, you can tell his family, his mom's kind of being like, you don't have to do this. Are you okay? Like you don't, make sure you're prepared. But also his girlfriend, who is black, they've known each other, high school sweethearts. They're kind of arguing in the back about what he should be doing and his placement and everything, if he should be participating in the combine. And you can tell Cade is so, I don't know, he's affected by it, but he's also just trying to be focused on.
No, I think he's just numbing it out. He's just like silencing the noise.
He's just trying his best to silence the noise, and his barber ends up cutting his damn, his actual
stitches,
cut, and
which,
stitches.
like I said,
that got
unrealistic.
hurt.
No, unrealistic. Because why? Like I said, if you just had someone hit you across the head, your sutures are not going to be exposed to air like that.
Okay.
They're not. Especially with how you got hit, and his doctor was talking to his mom saying like, hey, if he continues to play football, like this is gonna fuck him up. Like this could be career ending.
That was a good line. I do like that. I forget exactly what it was, but she said like the doctor said like it's best for the family or it's best for your career or something. Then he said, what about for the fans? Like something like that. He said he switched it because you could tell that's what he.
Because he goes as my doctor, and then he goes as a fan, and then it turns.
That was good. I like that. There were some things in the beginning that worked because you're just watching this Ascension. We already know that Isaiah White is touted as the GOAT. He has 8 rings. Obviously, he's the Tom Brady, or better than Tom Brady. He's the greatest. And so Cade is billed as the next star. Like he's going to be the best. But obviously with his head injury, how ESPN and all them talking
like,
about,
is
can
he ready?
Do it?
What's
is
going
he ready?
on?
Should he, if it's not him, it could be someone else. But they're already touting him as the greatest, so he doesn't have to show
next
off.
up.
Yeah, and of course for the Saviors, we know that this is Isaiah White's last year on his contract with the Saviors, so he doesn't know if he's going to come back for one more year or if the Saviors are preparing Cade to draft him for him to be the next thing to replace him, which does play into the film a little bit later, but not as much as it needs to be. But anyways, after this part, after he pretty much determines, okay, I'm not going to do the draft, doesn't need to run a 40, doesn't need to show off for these people because he's essentially kind of ready to go, at least in his mind, Isaiah White does reach out to him, or his agent reaches out to him saying that Isaiah White wants to train with him, to bring him out to this remote location and train with them for a week. And then, of course, since that's his GOAT, since that's his inspiration, he's like, of course, we're going to the league. And even when he's at the party, when he's like partying with his friends and everything, important to notice this, his girlfriend tells him, I'm still going to love you even if you don't go to the league. And there's more than one way to be great, which is put into the beginning for one reason, once again, does not come up later as much. So the first 30-45 minutes is not terrible.
It is.
It's not.
It's pretty. It's not terrible. It's pretty bad.
It's not terrible. It's okay. Like it's okay. It's just a typical. Okay, we're getting into the. We're building up to something.
The reason why I say it's still pretty bad in my eyes, is because of the fact we are being exposed to his family. Like, so his dad did pass away in service as a Marine. But what I'm saying is that we're getting exposed to his family, but we're not really learning anything about his family. Like, a lot of the the party scene was kind of useless. Okay, he ends up just walking through it, and they're like, "Oh, you feeling better, huh?" Because he didn't do the combine.
And
he's
it's aggressive with people at the party.
Because he's like, and it's like, to me, it's kind of just like I said, we spend time with his family, but not really. So obviously his mom isn't at the party, but it's still just like him, his girlfriend, and his brother are like doing stuff, and they're trying on chains and stuff. I guess like showing kind of like the flexing that they want to do, but it's like Tyreek isn't really into it, or Cameron. So it's like I said, like I feel like it was kind of a waste of time at the beginning, because it's like, I don't care about your girlfriend, I don't care about you, but it is like, obviously, like I would hope if you're gonna show like his family in that, and like what ends up coming on later, like
Yeah.
what ends up coming up later, it's like, oh, well, I don't really care because I don't really know your family. Like, I
Exactly.
don't know why you're doing this. So to me, I just feel like it was a waste. And why I said it was pretty bad is because it's like, I wish you would have, if you were going to use his family to be such an important role kind of his decisions later on, I would like to have known and have grown love at least a little bit for his family or his girl or
I
his
see what
brother.
you're talking about. Yeah.
So-
In the whole context of the film, it's not the strongest start, but just for what it was, I thought, okay, this is okay. You're doing the typical he's getting away for the league thing. Then let's go ahead and get to it. When we get to him actually being dropped off. Now, before he even gets to the actual compound, we are, he is driven by these crazy fans on the way to the compound.
Well, he's driven by a driver.
He's driven
and
by a
then
driver
on the property.
on the property itself, and super fans of Isaiah White, very and super fans of the Savior, and they are crazy. They do look cultish, and there's this one woman who's already
spitting on him and saying you're not him, like you're not gonna
spitting at the car, and then saying we don't want you, you know, we don't want you, which does play into the craziness of fans, the cult-like behavior of fans. I didn't mind that because, of course, it's realistic how crazy fans are. How many times do we see videos of fans beating the crap out of each other in stadiums? It is a game. Like, it's just a game of football. It's not that serious. You're not on the field putting your lives on the line. But Cade does get invited there, and as soon as when he gets dropped off and he steps in there, we are already introduced to this different atmosphere. There's like goat heads. There's like animal skin carcasses on the wall, of course. But at the front, there is the MVP trophy and the 8 rings to capture his attention and to get us as the viewer to see, okay, this is clearly where he keeps it. And then Isaiah's not there to introduce him to Cade. Cade has to like find him, and then when he sees him, Isaiah's like stitching up something. And then I forget what question he asked him. He's like, he asked him a basic question. And then I think the first thing that Isaiah even tells him is the origin of football, like how it even started.
With the Native Americans.
Yeah, with the Native Americans like inventing the forward pass, but the Americans, being so brutalized that the kids were dying at a very young age in the game. So they had to implement the forward pass just to kind of modernize it, so that the modernization of the quarterback. Because if you don't have it, you just have people running into each other all day long, which that essentially is still football. So he introduces him to it. He tells him about kind of not what's gonna be going on, but he does introduce these chapters by telling him, and remember, have fun. And that's how we get into day one. This is broken up into chapters, and what have I been saying?
Those are pretty bad.
Movies that have chapters are either great, they're either like not iconic but extremely memorable, like a Nope, or I'll think of another one as the movie's going. Or the
Weapons
like
wasn't good. This wasn't good. Long Legs wasn't good.
I mean, Weapons was still fine. Like
Weapons was fine, but it
was
wasn't
still fine
like
for the chapter. Like the chapters made sense. It's just that
it was too many of them.
There were too many of them, but at least by the last one, by the time we got to Alex's, I was like, okay, we get to see different perspectives. But for here, when we get into the whole fun of it, I don't even know what to really describe it, y'all. It's just a lot is thrown at you from the beginning to try to understand the concept of this. However, let's just go ahead and address the things that we did like about the film. Then we can get into the things that we didn't. So, what are the things that we did like about the film?
Obviously, just to sum up all the days, the good thing about the days was each chapter was like a characterization of like what a lot of probably athletes need to have. Like, of course, have fun while being there, but remain poised. Don't be too, all those things, all the chapters. I'm not going to go through each one.
Specifically like the leader or the star of a team. Yeah.
But what I will say is like the training scenes, like I said, they were pretty, there was one that was pretty gruesome, but it's like, of course, like it's a gruesome sport. Like there's no way that people aren't going to get hurt. People aren't going to get injured, have longevity issues. But I did like, kind of the importance, I guess, of what he was saying your position is, because if you can't do your job, then you affect other people as well. So I thought that was pretty good. And probably just another thing is just, kind of just showing how like they woke him up each day and like
Like
how you
boot
had to get
camp.
up. Yeah, so it was kind of like a boot camp.
Cock-a-doodle
But
doo.
then it just so that's what I'll say I liked.
Okay, I like that. I'll make sure to ask some questions about other things as we go through it. I did like the training sequences. I do think that how it was shot was actually really good. You can tell that there's parts of it where it does feel and looks kind of peel like the coloring looks very nice, especially when they're in the indoor facility. I like that it's not all bright. The lights are specifically on the field, so it makes you feel like it's this big moment. And the training sequence that is very great. It is in the trailer. You have these kind of non-drafted or like free agent wide receivers come out, and Cade's like, "Who are those?" And then Isaiah White's, "Who are they?" And then Cade's kind of telling him, like, "Oh, like they got nothing to lose, so they're just out here." He's like, "It's no problem. It's just just treat them like how they are, like receivers." And of course he has, he's like, I need a volunteer." And then the white guy is like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it." And he stands in front of the ball launching machine. I don't know the name of it, but everyone's seen them. It launches the ball in the air. It's really for receivers to catch the ball. But he stands in front of it with his hands behind his back, and he has a 2-second drill. And Isaiah's giving him the ball, and he has to turn around and throw it to the receiver and get it where he needs to in the 2 seconds. And he's doing great in the beginning. And Marlon Wayans does a good job in like set Hut, like keep him focused. Like no matter what, keep yourself focused. But the moment he messes up, they put the ball in the machine, and then it launches into the white guy's face. Mm-hmm. And this is where we're in the theater thinking, man, this is brutal. Like, I don't want to see this. It's very hard. And Cade, I think, did a good reaction of like looking back, like, hey, what's going on here? Like, he kind of was giving the most human reactions. Like, he was pulling himself out of trying to be the quarterback GOAT. And he's like, I'm genuinely concerned for this guy. But Marlon hits him with the truth as like, if you're like, this wouldn't even be happening if you did your job. Mm-hmm. Like, and that's essentially what it is, as well as telling him it's all on you when things go bad, and when things go great, it is all on you. And that's how we've always seen it in sports, whether it's Tom or Patrick or LeBron or whatever. They win a title, guess what they're talking about first? The quarterback, the main star. But guess when something goes wrong? Oh, it's his fault. He did this. So it is all on you. So I did like that, and it was brutal. And then you can tell in that sequence, instead of being concerned, he had to shut that off. And then he was yelling at his receivers, like being like, "Come on, I thought I got some real receivers," like cursing at them. Then the receivers talking back, and kind of to wake him up and to get him to be focused on the game, which is when the movie does its best job of showing you the theme without slapping it upside your face. It's just shown, and it's very quick. I also do like how it was shot from the perspective inside the helmet, because I think people don't really know just how closed off of your peripherals it is to be able to see what's going on. Whenever a quarterback gets hit, people wonder, how did he not see that guy? Well, you can't really see that much outside the lines of the visor, so it is good. I wanted to ask you, what did you think about the X-ray type of stuff that they kind of use, especially whenever they hit? Instead of seeing the two guys hit, it's like it changes into this X-ray thing, and then they're kind of laying on the ground, or they're seizuring almost.
Yeah, I liked it because it reminds me of science, but it is nice to see, but it didn't hold much of an impact because they only did it like so many times.
Okay.
And so sometimes it was kind of just like, if this was actually like a true horror film, I feel like it could have been used a little bit more, but it's also like there wasn't really a time to use it besides these training sequences.
Besides the training, yeah.
So that's why it's like I wish they kind of would have showed it maybe during a game, like maybe. And then also I thought it was maybe going to be his vision. That's inevitably what it was going to end up being, like his vision and how he sees stuff. But that didn't happen. So
yeah, I thought it was interesting. Never seen it used before like that. And the sound design was actually pretty good.
Remember, they did it in Final Destination.
Yeah. But I thought that it was still fine. It was new. The sound design was good. I think whenever the helmets hit and you could hear the cracking sounds, and you can see his sutures like opening up, or whenever he was injected with
the blood,
which I'll let you talk about the doctor part, or at least how they were taking care of him or trying to keep him alive. But the other sequence that I did like was Cade being pushed so much, like him trying to avoid the defenders, and then when one is running at him, Cade completely loses it,
Yeah,
and
it
then hits
goes,
him in the head, and it's kind of filmed to where you think Cade's on the ground. You think,
Yeah.
oh, he's dead, like he's dead now. But really, he knocked the dude out, and the dude's seizuring like on the ground, but nobody picks him up.
He's tying it up.
The doctor's not, and then of course, Cade's looking over him like, oh, we got a dead body over here, and I'm thinking, yeah, we do. Like he's actually dead. Like he might as well be dead. He's out. He's still seizuring, and right when he's beginning to give him concern. Here comes Isaiah White again, kind of like, there he is, like proud of him, rewarding him for it, which is like I said, that's when the horror comes out of it, because that's how we see it that's what we're all thinking when we're watching football, is like, oh my God, the dude's like seizuring on the ground. I do, gotta say this, it did make me think of Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback of the Dolphins, because when he was knocked out on the ground and his fingers were curling, it is this circle that you make around the player, and then the cameras have to get off, but the cameras still have to get on you so you can see it, because unfortunately that's the brutality is what the media wants to portray, because if it was really that bad, we're not showing the person, but we've got 30 different angles of the hit. How many times the player's gotten hit and we're like, okay, we don't need to see it this 20th time, but we got the camera straight on them, which is crazy. But anyway, then they start like singing and just essentially circling around the dude instead of helping him, which is a good metaphor for how we feel looking at a player getting injured. It's there. Like, there's good moments in the film that make you go, this is brutal. Why do we even play this sport? It's terrible. But what are you willing to sacrifice to be the greatest? You have to push away a lot of that emotional attachment. That's about the height of the film right there, is about when they are doing these scenes of the training. After that, when he's trying to get... obviously, we see Isaiah White getting, like, blood. Like, what was happening with his blood? Like, it was like his blood was being saved. He saves his blood to inject it back into him.
Because it's, like, the person in front of him's blood. So, like,
Yeah.
whoever was the I guess they're all predecessors.
Yeah.
So, it's like they just take whoever's blood that is because that's the blood that...
Make them great.
Yeah.
It's in your veins. The greatness is in your veins type of thing. So they just use it as like we're just going to inject you with it. And since... and Cade's in the ice bath, and that's when the doctor first, like sticks him, and he's like, you'll thank me later, and he's sticking him with the blood to kind of just
not wiping it off, just straight.
I know, I'm like, bro, at least wipe the damn, like at least.
And
wipe
then you're going so deep too, like, damn, we're just at this point, just stab him. Like at this point, wait,
pretty much
you are,
was. Yeah,
you are.
And I don't really know if the doctor was trying to be. I mean, doctor's trying to say like, oh, I'm gonna help you with this, or it'll keep you, because I think anytime the pain and the endurance wasn't enough, he kind of had to inject them with it to keep him going, essentially, no matter what. Because obviously after he's done training that day, I think one of the next days they have is a running in the desert, and Isaiah White is, I want to say the actor's name, and Isaiah White is still jogging, but for Cade, he cannot keep up. Like, he's throwing up, he falls over. Once he falls over, then comes your favorite mascot, the whole shaking pom-pom.
She's so cute.
Mascot comes out, and he has a vision where he hits him in the head with the whole thing, but really it's just Isaiah White telling him like, oh, you'll be all right, you'll be fine, you'll be all right, and then they end up ejecting him to give him some more power later. That's essentially how the film goes, is each day he's trying to learn another skill, whether it's keeping poise, whether it's the leadership, the resilience, vision, and then sacrifice. But we've got to talk about this scene, because for me, this is pretty much the scene. If the movie didn't already lose me here, it definitely lost me at this point. When they were in the sauna, I was telling you this. The best moments of the film are when it's Isaiah and Cade just talking. No theatrics, no extra shit, just them talking. Whether it's Cade telling him how he really feels about the game, or whether it's Isaiah White telling him how he doesn't really know anything after like football, or like football's all he's known, which does play into how a lot of athletes feel. You give everything to it, but you don't know anything after it. So it's like when you leave the game, who are you after it? We've seen it with a lot of greats. With Michael Jordan, it's like, what are you really doing after the game? Tom Brady, what are you doing? You're surrounded by the game. You're not doing anything outside of it. Like, it's almost like you literally lost yourself because your body can't keep up. And so for him, of course, it's a fear of his. He said knowing, it's a fear of knowing, seeing someone else do something that I was great at, that I'm great at. You know, you can't beat Father Time no matter how great you are. That's the real opponent you can't beat. And I wish they would have explored that more with his internal battle of how that feels, but we didn't. Instead, what the hell happens in this sauna? I mean,
one of the crazy
this sauna
fans.
scene kind of pisses me off.
Isaiah ends up leaving
Yeah.
Cameron in the sauna. Cameron's laid the fuck out. He's like, okay, I'm gonna chill in this 200-degree Fahrenheit room.
Hey, maybe
y'all
the blood
are
keeps
dead.
them blood's
Y'all
fireproof,
are
blood's sauna proof.
dead. But he ends up laying down. His eyes are closed, but we still see him like laying down. We see still out the outside perspective going inside the sauna because it is a glass door. And one of the lady who spit on the van, you know, when he was first coming in, comes out from underneath. And she tries to attack him with one of the rocks, which once again, how are you lifting up a rock that's 200 degrees?
Exactly.
So
It was a
no
good-
burns.
It was a good
nothing.
moment. I like that one.
But she picks it up and she once again is trying to kill Cameron. So Cameron obviously quick with the flexes.
Very quick.
And so he
should
ends up strangling her. But then we're thinking, oh damn, like that's the killer, you know, like he
Got that
ends
killer
up,
in you.
we're thinking, oh, he ends up killing her. No, he ends up looking scared because he's like, fuck, I just killed this lady. And then, and the other two, because there's like 3 of them in total. It's like, well, not just 3 in total of the fans, but it's one lady and then 2 other boys
With like football
that are
heads
around her.
and-
Yeah. And so he's thinking he killed her and he goes, oh, like Isaiah, you know, like he's kind of trying to explain like, oh my gosh, she just attacked me. You know, he's worried. He's just like, damn, I killed somebody. And then no, he gets out. Isaiah opens the door and then Isaiah did he end up pushing her? Yeah, he ended up pushing her so hard that she
But
ended up.
before that happened, what did he do? He
Who?
tongued her.
Oh
Remember,
yeah, he ended
that
up
was
making
so weird.
because he was like, oh, like she probably died happy knowing like that was her last moment on earth, making out with the one
yeah.
she worshipped. So it was probably one of those type of things. But yeah, he did, and it's so funny.
I
She
wish
gets
he verbally said that. It was just weird. It's just weird the line delivery of what he said afterwards.
yeah, so he ends up, like I said, making out with her for like a quick second, and then he ends up, like I said, pushing her so hard she hits her head against the sauna stones, and yeah, she ends up actually dying then. And then the 2 other little, I'm gonna call them her little brothers, they come in there and they're just looking stupid in the sauna. Who knows whatever happened? Don't worry, guys, it's never gonna come back.
They just cleaned up the sauna afterwards, but it's the reaction from Isaiah White that's a little bit off-putting because he's like, "Oh my God, holy shit! Did you see that? That's a winner." And I'm thinking, I don't know. It was that moment kind of took me out, thinking it was a decent scare of her crawling from under because we hadn't seen her since the beginning of the film. So it's like, okay, I don't even think you're coming back. So
No, remember we saw her outside the window.
oh yeah, when he was in his cell,
When he was talking on
or
the
his
phone.
cell, yeah, when he was on the phone. Yeah, it's nothing on the phone, talking to his family, maybe talking to his family,
Which he's
on
not
his mom's
supposed to
birthday,
do.
which he's not supposed to do. But that was decent of a little scare for her to come underneath, but it just didn't pay off there. It was just one of those moments that already took me out. Then when you get to Julia Fox's character, God, influencer woman who's the wife of Isaiah White, Isaiah White. That's when they try to establish the whole athletes having fun or just being with multiple people. I don't know what they were trying to really say there as much, being in infidelity or whatever, because he's about to leave, essentially. He's about to leave at that point, and she's like, "Are you sure you want to leave?" Because she's got all these women, so not surrounding him, but like around
Lots of
him,
temptation.
and they're like, "Oh, a temptation, like about to go to a party, you know, you want to come with?" And of course he does come with because he gives in, and then he's all, you know, having these women dance on him and everything, and of course he's getting drugged up and whatnot, and then he wakes up the next morning, and then you have Isaiah White sitting in the chair as he's
Looking
leaned over the bed. Yeah, looking very homeless there. And he's like, "Did you fuck her? You didn't fuck her, did you?" And then kind of trying to scare him with the gun. And then he ends up like licking the gun, putting it in his mouth. That's when I fully thought, okay, Marlon, we definitely improv that one. Justin Tipping said, "Do your thing, Marlon," and he's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
Because he was referring to all the women that he's had since like being where he's at.
But for Cade's character, what was he saying about his girlfriend, or like how he was feeling about her since her high school sweetheart? It's like,
I mean, he was just saying, yeah, he was just like, I wouldn't do that to her. And then Isaiah ended up saying, oh, you're worried about her feelings. You're not going to be anything if you're worried about her feelings or how anyone would feel.
Exactly. Which is unfortunately true in that sense, but it also promotes not
It always
the best.
comes to your morals.
Yes, it always battle your
just,
morals.
yeah, that's basically what the movie always tied into. It's like your morals. So it's like, yeah, you can have any of these women. You can lie to her. You can do whatever. But you can also be good. Like, just like with all these bad things, you can also be good. You can also be, actually loyal to her. You can still do your job. You can, it's always a moral thing. Like, Isaiah was so keen on, like, oh, like, who cares? You can have so many women, like, because he just cares about football. He doesn't really care about the aspect of,
The pomp and circumstance of it.
Yeah.
Like the showing off of it. You can tell he's just thinking, I just want to do a football thing. And I kind of wish they just showed that more. Like his love of the game. Like I think we missed that in the film. We didn't get to see his actual
And
love
just
of the
to-
game, where
yeah.
it came from. We just see him, oh, he's good, and then there's like highlight clips of him throwing. But
Yeah.
I wish we would have seen him getting his first touchdown, winning his first
And-
title, and then seeing like an interview afterwards. Instead, it's just this quick ESPN highlight
Right,
reel,
yeah.
and then we just get
And
always great at
Just
it.
to address this now, obviously, Cameron has a black girlfriend,
Yeah.
and then Isaiah ends up, being married to a white one, which is a lot of the times what we see. Whenever you make it big, it's like, oh, you definitely can't have a black woman next to you. Like, you need to find someone that's practically white, 90, or like someone not black, pretty much, because they can be with Latinas, they can be with whites, they can be with literally Asian people, but don't bring a black girl with you. Like, that's not gonna. But I wish they would have addressed it because that's really that's like, especially as a black woman myself, like that's what we always see. So it's like, I wish, especially with Jordan on, like, producing it, I wish they would have, and maybe they just didn't have time for it. It wasn't like a big aspect because it is talking about more of football and him, literally, not about. But I feel like if you were going to go into the aspects of it, and like, to me, Julia Fox, if you're going to be someone's wife, which Julia was a waste of a character for Isaiah, because that was his wife and we never really saw the relationship, but I guess it was kind of showing like she's just there for like the money, like, she's not really there because she loves him. Like,
Yeah,
I
because
think
she's like an influencer person
we don't
selling
even
products
see
or
we don't
whatever.
even see their relationship
At all.
and we barely really even see Cameron's. We really don't. It's just like, oh, like his girl is just like, and like I said, and I liked how it showed, like, the black woman being supportive. I'll love you either way, like, I got your back, like, no matter what. And then, like, obviously then we see the other side. It's like, oh, well, you made it, you're great, and like I just care about pretty much the money and like maintain, like,
You
managing
could have
you.
explored that pretty
And it's
easily,
like,
yeah.
and that's like something that's so common. So I wish they would have at least, like I said, either developed the relationship with him and his girlfriend, obviously referring to Cameron, or, show the other side of it, show their relationship. It's like, oh, I wish, like, just one of the conversations, instead of him gawking a fucking gun, maybe you could have talked about, like, instead of talking about, like, oh, you'll have plenty of women or whatever, it's like, maybe he could be like, oh, you know how I knew she was the one for me? Because she was easy to, she looked good in photos next to me or something.
Yeah.
It's like, you could have done a lot of things with the aspect of, like, growing up and, like I said, having a black girlfriend, and then, moving to the big leagues and how they perceive it and how it's perceived on you. There's a lot of avenues that could have been explored, but they really didn't. Because, like I said,
what's interesting is
not
a
addressed.
big missed opportunity is, and you said this after we watched it, why didn't they just talk more about Isaiah's injury and how he recovered from it? When he was, also, I meant to say this. What truly probably the second best scene was, this is going to sound weird, I know, but when they had him drop his drawers and they were just poking and prodding him when he first got to the facility, because it felt very slave auction.
They were doing a physical,
It felt
yeah.
so that felt really slave auctiony. Like, drop your drawers, we're gonna get, he's walking around him and they do this good panning shot and he's asking him all these questions like, so how you doing and whatnot, and they're just like poking and touching him and getting the measurements of him. And of course, like, of course you're intrigued by, okay, like his physique, but it's the undertone of how the owners of the NFL view these athletes. Like, ooh, look at that one, he's great, look at his shoulders and his arms, and it's like, because look what he can do for us. I don't give a damn about his emotion. I care about how big is his shoulders, his arms. Can he?
Yeah, what's his wingspan?
What's
How
his
far can he
wingspan?
throw?
And it's just very. It was uncomfortable to see, and of course, but he asked him then, like, about the injury, and he's like, how'd you get over it? How'd you get through it? And then Isaiah telling him, I damn near killed myself. I wish he then later asked him, was she there for you during it? Like, it's easy. And maybe say like, oh, she wasn't there. She was over there promoting products. And it shows you she's really just there for the thing.
And then and then you can throw in too, like the aspect of, once you make it big, it doesn't matter. These women only want you for one thing.
See?
They only want you for one thing.
And
it
then
doesn't
it can
matter.
make him think, oh, is my goal going to be like that? Because he already said the whole, because he downplayed the whole African-American thing, which we know that's what they were doing. Oh, that's cute. You African-American. It's like, we know what that means. You black couple, we know you're not going to be talking about it as much. Because, of course, I mean, let's keep it real. Jalen Hurts has a black girlfriend, and the NFL does not. They'll only
Russell
promote it.
and Sierra.
Exactly, Russell and Sierra. They'll promote, but of course that's different though because Sierra's a star. But we're talking about a black male athlete with a black girlfriend, and we know that it's not promoted as much as a black male athlete with a white girlfriend, and they've been together for high school sweethearts. We know, like a Patrick Mahomes and his girl, they're gonna talk about that all day because they know like that's what they want to promote more. But that's just what it is. Once again. These are our opinions of what we've seen. If you got a problem with it, don't really give a damn. These are just how we feel about it because this is what we've seen. But I did like that, and you could have done that more with it. But like you said, they're over here gawking the gun. But let's go ahead and get to the third act, which I feel this is where it maybe later on there'll be a director's cut. Maybe Justin Tipping will come out and say something later. Maybe Peele will say something. I feel like they wanted to go in a different direction for the third act.
Yeah.
And the studio themselves was like, no, we're doing this. Because this kind of pissed me off. I was like, you still could have had an okay whatever movie with a strong third act. Because we're looking at the poster right now. We don't even see this pose in the poster, which kind of pisses me off because it's
deep faked.
It's deep faked. It's AI, isn't no. But it kind of pissed me off that we didn't because we just completely shift everything where the film just says, okay, here's the third act. We're just gonna push it. We're gonna shove it. Damn, we got to keep this thing at 90 minutes. Under 90 minutes. Let's push it because. Essentially, we get the whole scene, which we know has been happening, where Julia is saying, "Oh, you're gonna meet the owners and be prepared for the one that's bald," and it is a black man sitting at a table being paraded and shown about to the white owners and investors into the team, and them telling him, "Oh, isn't he nice?" Is he's gonna be great up there and everything.
Yeah, what is your worth to me?
And everything. Oh yeah, and sorry, before we get to that, I'm out of order here. Before that. We get the training. I think it's resilience, or I think it might be vision. Actually, it might be vision. The day of vision when they show Isaiah White and Julia Fox doing the interview process of what it would look like when he's the star, and then they have Cade doing it, and that's when Cade and Tyreek Withers' best performance in the movie, in my opinion, finally telling the backstory of his father, of how he felt, how he really felt about it, how he actually didn't want to do football, and he told his dad that he didn't want to continue with football even after all the training his dad has put himself through. You assume that his dad's worked extra hours and whatnot to get him to train the way he did, pushing him as from youth, all the two-a-days and everything. And for him to tell him that, then when his dad passed, he essentially is opening up his emotions, saying like, "Nah, I do it for him. Like I do it for him, even though." And you said before, if it's all about the family, how come we're being told this like this late into the film? It could have been told
especially because it doesn't have especially because, like I said, we don't have family ties to that. We saw one scene with him and his dad of them being really happy about Isaiah winning the game. But like I said, I don't know about your mom. Okay, her birthday, we don't even know the date of her birthday. Like, it's like, and then we only saw your girl in one party. We saw your brother. It's like, to me, like I said, if you're going to do the family unit thing, it's like, okay, well, how does your brother feel about it? Was your brother out there training for you? Did dad compare you guys a lot?
Is there a jealousy aspect? Maybe the brother's like, I don't even want to do football because look at what he's putting you through. There's good lines that you could, even at the party, you can have the brother say something like, "Hey man, that's all you. You know I'm not with it."
But maybe they're like, yeah, that's too generic and we don't want to go that route. But it's like I said, but you can't have the family aspect of it later on. Like, oh, like, I did it for him and, he died a month later, so I blame it. And so I keep playing because it's like, then it's not real. Like, if I just keep playing, then like he's still there with me. And like, I don't have to reminisce about his death. But like I said, I don't care about your father because once again, I saw him for a quick second and a man was on the ground with a leg broken and he said, well, that's what a man does.
Do you think Don Benjamin
What?
just did? I mean, do you think? No offense to Don Benjamin here. Do you think that maybe they were like, we can't, like, I don't know if Don can do these serious scenes that we need.
I think he can.
Okay.
He's capable of it.
Or do you think the studio maybe said that this movie can't be too damn long?
Like I said, I think they were just trying to they just didn't want it to be generic and like the ideas that we're saying have been done before. So I think they're like going a different aspect of like what was going on. But ultimately, like I said, you can't give me that family line. Like when he's crying, I want to be crying with you.
Exactly.
Like,
I need to feel it at that
like I
point.
want to know like, damn, his dad put him through all that. And, you know, we'll see at the end how it was basically all orchestrated, but it's just like, you know, it's like let that hit me more. Like let me be like, his dad did all this for him and then he wasn't happy. Like I want to feel whenever he had said like, I don't even want to do this anymore. Like I want to be like, damn, and you did all that. We saw all of what your dad was doing to you and you didn't want to do it. And like let's see your games, and when your dad's not there, maybe there's games where your dad was probably at every
Quick
game.
highlights. Show him throwing a touchdown and his dad celebrating,
and then
him
now
throwing a
he's
touchdown
not
and his dad's
there.
not.
Yeah, it's like, to me, like I said, it's like you could have, like I said, if you're gonna, like I said, the family aspect and the emotions of it, they weren't there because, like I said, I don't know your dad, and it's like now I'm finding out you didn't want to do this, but it's like, okay, well, to me, I'm just kind of like, okay, well, quit, let's cut it. Like I'm confused. Like I don't really care about like I said, when he's dropping them tears, like I said, great acting. But once again, the story is not good to where it's like I said, it's not linear enough also to get me to that point. Like I said, I'm a big crybaby. So it's like,
if you can even get her to cry, shed a tear.
It's just like, like I said, I just wish they would have just delved. Yeah, I just wanted a connection. Like I want to understand, like, okay, so did you like your dad when he was pushing you like that? Does it give you a purpose? We don't know. Like we don't know. And then now he's gone. It's like, okay, we understand he was, you know, they quickly did that, how his dad was killed in service. But it's like, okay, so you keep doing it, you don't really like doing it, and, you know, they're getting you prepared for all these questions. And also in the training, to go backwards, you know, I liked how him and his teammate, he was like, yo, dad's a bitch. Because it's like, let's see, like, let me see.
Got under his skin.
Yeah, and, like, because he's like, you playing like a bitch. He's like, yo, dad's a bitch. Like, and it's like, okay, so like that makes him upset. I think that's the guy he ended up headbutting later too.
Yeah, he did. I think it is.
But I don't know because they all had helmets on. Yeah. I really don't know. But it's like I said,
dead man.
I just wanna see. Like I said, it's just like you could have done so many things to where it's like, let me see his emotions. Like even while he was talking, we didn't have to stare at him and zoom in. But I know it was for that shot of like the tears and stuff. But it's like, let me see, you know, what he was going through. Because
you can have flashes of it. You can have flashes of him there. It's just there's missed opportunities of, like we said, show him getting his first touchdown and his dad's proud of him. Show him losing a game and his dad maybe getting on to him, being like, if you want to be the greatest, you have to deal with this. You have to be, you know, and then show him the scene where we finally get the reveal. I actually didn't want to do this. Like, this isn't my thing. Because remember what Isaiah told him.
Or have it be a scene. Like, have him be out. Because they showed a quick training scene of him in the rain. Is that when you told him? Like, you were pretty young
show
then.
That
like,
whole scene. Like, let it breathe. Let the film breathe. It felt like it was moving so fast. And what did Isaiah tell him in the beginning? One of my favorite lines he told him was when he said, oh, that's cute. Like, you know, you do it for the family. You take care of them and everything. But if you want to be the greatest, you got to find something else. And that is true. Because there are a lot of athletes who, and we see it with a lot of athletes nowadays, oh, I already got my mama the house. I done paid off all the debt. I've been taking care of all of them. And then what happens when they're still playing in the league? I don't really care anymore because I'm good at taking care of. So we know you don't want to be the greatest. We know you just wanted it for the contract and you're good. But when you want to be the greatest, you are doing it. What do you say? To transcend the game. You got to find something deeper. And then later when he gets the reveal and he's crying and everything, he then tells him, you're a good man, Cade. Because he is. He's just a good guy because he's literally doing it for that. It's not a... And
he doesn't worship the game
like Isaiah does. He doesn't worship the game the way he does. But like we said, it's disappointing that we get to that far in the film and then it's not like that. But anyways, now we're jumping forward to the thing where he's at the table with the white guys. This is where we completely were lost because we then get the whole...
I wanted to leave.
Drug-induced. Yeah, honestly, probably looking back, probably would have walked out. Drug-induced scene, very... I mean, we've seen it in all cult films.
Like
Infinity
Illuminati,
Pool,
it's red, stuff's blurring, you're throwing up chains, diamonds.
Throwing up chains and diamonds. Once again, this would all mean something. The metaphors are there. This would all mean something if we gave a crap about these characters at this point. they're poking and prodding him, touching him, telling him how great of a star he's going to be, only to drug him. And then we see whose head? We see the doctor's head cut off. We didn't really talk
for
about
sacrifice,
yeah, for sacrifice and whatnot. And it's just like, okay. And even before this, they had a scene where it was another scene that was okay, where it was, once again, they were just shooting the mascots, or they were shooting literal guns. They were shooting things, and they tried to have a wager, and we thought that it was going in this direction, where Isaiah White was like, oh, if I win and you lose, like, you know, I get to take your youth.
Yeah.
And I remember us in the theater like, ooh, like a little bit like, okay, like maybe that's what he wants. He doesn't want to give it up. He wants to still be the best.
Yeah.
And then of course,
the chosen
finally, Cade is like, no, how about this? You know, because he doesn't want to give that up, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, no, how about this? If I win, you know, like I might, or he said if I lose or if I win, I might let you keep QB1, which is good because it's that
Jordan Baker.
Stop. Because wait, maybe it was inspired by All American, because we did have the shaking camera scene. We did have that crazy shaking camera stuff.
But I'll get through the Illuminati part.
Go right ahead. Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah,
with that.
so like I said, they're poking and prodding him. He's at a party. He goes only with Julia. Isaiah does not go with him because obviously Isaiah doesn't need to go. He's already been kind. This is pretty much a ritual.
He's remember, he says it again. I'm gonna go watch film and then we find out what that is later.
It's a ritual, and
satanic.
Ultimately, and even the doctor, like when he first got in there, he said run. You know, like because
that was a good moment.
because he was telling him like this isn't what you want. Like he's probably like looking at him like you're better than this. Like you don't need to be doing this. And then maybe also the doctor might have seen like you don't have that drive like they do. It's not everything to you. So it's like run. He doesn't run. He goes up there and drinks that goat's blood or whatever the fuck they were drinking, probably a child's blood. And then like it just gets
allegedly.
It just gets red everywhere, and like I said, he's throwing up. So we see the doctor's head on the table, Julia looking crazy as fuck, and then he's throwing up diamonds and stuff. He's kind of hallucinating. Like I said, they're doing drugs or like they're just drinking, you know, it's a party. But like I said, it just became so like, this is when I was like, this is such a waste. Like, I'm just like, we're doing this Illuminati shit. It's like kind of like selling your soul and stuff. And it's like, there we go doing that stupid Illuminati stuff again. It's like, ultimately, I don't care about this. And it's like, okay, we already know now that you don't really want to play it. So why are you doing this? Like, why didn't you take to me, it's like, that was kind of poor all around. Cause it's like, okay, well, you don't really want to do this. And we've been exposed to that now. But then now, you know, the doctor told you to run. You didn't really give a fuck. You just said, no, like, I'm going to do it, you know, because we think, like, you know, he still wants to do it. But like I said, at this point now, we already know you really don't want to. You're only doing it so that,
the doctor should have ran himself. Shit.
The doc, like, because it's like, now we know, like, you kind of are just doing it for your dad because then it's not real and you can still see him and stuff. But ultimately, I'm just like, no, this is weird. And it just became Illuminati. And then, like I said, it ends up with, he ends up waking up back at the house, of course.
Or the compound or wherever the hell he is.
Yeah, like in the remote location. And yeah, like I said, that's literally what we saw. And it was literally a blur and it was red. And like I said, it was making it heavily demonic looking. And it was just, like I said, stupid. I was just
Which kind of plays into the metaphor of the selling your soul to be the greatest, but it was too ridiculous. And then we get to and
it was far too long. Like, once again, all the things that we were talking about before this could have been utilized in this time.
Which is funny because it's a movie that's under 90 minutes and that felt long. And then when we get to the
pacing and timing was fucked. Yeah. But yeah, now he ends up going back, you know, his ass looking stupid. Julia isn't around either. I forgot what
she dropped off the face of the film after that, pretty much.
And then I just don't remember what exactly happened right after. I just know he woke up and then
I think we just get into the fight. Like we just get into him going down the hallway because he's like dressed in the. Oh yeah, because he wakes up on the ice. He wakes up on the ice.
Yeah, and then he injects himself again, and then this is
scanned.
Goofy.
He's getting scanned. Yeah.
This is Goofy once again because he ends up taking blood again, injects it into his heart. What are we doing? We're becoming suicidal now. But he ends up shooting himself once again with blood, and it's literally called Run on it. Like it literally has, it's like I guess a callback to when like the doctor told him to run, but it's Run
like
on the injection.
Emoji thing, like take it if you want to.
And then he injects himself, and then he gets up, And then he goes and finds Isaiah in his room where he's once again watching film, looking at the fans. This is a creepy perspective.
It's like a circle of hell. Like he's sitting in a chair to paint it for. He's looking up at the ceiling, and the ceiling is like a circle, almost
Think
like
of
from
like a
the
projector.
perspective, like a projector, but also like, you know how you look at like 3D virtual like rooms, and you can see like all around you from the perspective of the camera in the middle. It's like you're in the middle, you're looking up, but it's just the fans, but they're all in red. So it looks like you're in a circle of hell, and the fans are there. I think that's the metaphor for it. Like, you sold yourself, but look at all the fans you have. Like, you have this hellish approach to you, but these fans love you forever. And then that's when Isaiah reveals to him the everything, like, oh, these old pads and helmets, which are the previous predecessors of him, of the greatest. It's just
Or it'd be previous successors.
previous successors of just, they all did it. They did it, the one before me, the one before him. And we think it's supposed to be this grand
Well, remember
reveal.
he started saying that because of Cameron had saying, like, you didn't think I was going to find out you were injecting me with your blood?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care.
I don't
We
give a
already
damn
knew
about
that.
your blood.
Why are you injecting blood into yourself anyway? And you just did it on your own will, even with the doctor's freaking head. You didn't care, and you continue to inject yourself. Then we get into this wonderful fighting match where the camera is this bitch shaking the table. They just kept shaking the camera.
Ridiculous. We did not need that, especially for all the stuff that we had seen before with the X-ray and the great sound design. This felt like we threw it together. We were rushing. It felt like, oh, let's just shake it to make it look cool. No, we can just have them brutally beat each other. But it shouldn't have been a fight. I said this when we were having Olive Garden afterwards, because we ate at Olive Garden after this. I said it just should have been like a drill or something. Like, it just should have been like a football drill. If you're gonna just dive deep into it, have it be an accuracy drill or something where they actually prove their merit of their skill, instead of whoever wins and kills the other person wins.
It could have ended in like an epic battle versus like the guys he trained with like Isaiah's guys too, and then it's like pretty much fight to the death, because that's pretty much, football's so brutal anyway.
Yeah.
It could have been that.
It could have been a drill where they hit each other in the head or something. I don't know. It could have been something different besides, no, let's just beat the hell out of each other. No, we don't need the metaphor to be
with
that on
helmets
brand.
and our fists.
Yeah, but of course we already know it. He does beat him. Isaiah is killed, or supposedly
Which, like
killed.
I said, we already see this in the trailer because, like I said, he's covered in blood, and we're like, oh, he's in those white pants that he was wearing. So we clearly know, like, unless Marlon is hiding somewhere else, like, we clearly know that he's going to get out of this.
And he walks out. The cheerleaders are all presenting him. And it does look, I'll give the movie this. It does look cool in the moment because it is this presentation. It's so funny that for the metaphors that it looks like, this is pretty much what you would think it would be. Like if whatever you think about football and how the presentation of the next star should be, this is pretty much it. You come out, you have all the cheerleaders, pomp and circumstance, mascots, and you have these chairs with these white people dressed up. You have the big book of the contract, and you have the signing here in blood, essentially. Sign here, and all your things will be, given to you. And then we get the reveal, which is, not only did one of the people who were running the team or the organization of the Saviors attack Isaiah, but they have groomed him. They have groomed him since the beginning because they already had a connection. The owner of the team already was connected with his dad, essentially bringing this from the ground up. They already knew this was going to be the next person, which makes you think that's how it is in the actual league. Yeah. They pick the person from the beginning, and they say, I don't give a fuck about skill and talent. Of course, skill and talent matters, but that's the person we want. And we're going to do everything we can to make them the face, whether they want to be or not. But he denies it, and then he just goes in this killing spree, which is nice to see, especially in the daylight, because everything's been in this facility and dark. But it wasn't earned, as you said. It didn't have this feeling of like, yeah, he got him. He stuck it to the man. No, it's just like, okay, let's just get this over with already. It doesn't. If we cared about Cade, and as I said, if he was trying to escape the facility at one point and he's stuck here, this is how he escapes, by truly defeating the man. Because I don't want to be your boy. And they do call him boy, which I was very surprised about, and I'm glad they did it, because it's like, listen here, boy, and is that not how they would call you? But he kills him, he slices, of course, with the main owner, he cuts his head through the actual
Field post.
and the
Goal
sound of the
post.
field goal, going back and forth is what we heard earlier in the first act of the film when he did the accuracy drill on it and he hit the field and he hit the post with the ball. It was the same sound, kind of like, okay, like before you even got hit, like you're kind of going back to who you were before this whole attack happened, but they revealed that they attacked them and everything. It just felt empty. It felt lifeless. I didn't care.
And this is when you could definitely tell in the movie too, like something had changed. I was
Something
like,
changed.
no, I was like, I feel like there was another
ending,
maybe, another depiction of the ending where he doesn't kill all of them. He ends up probably signing it away, and then he's just happy that he's next up. And like I said,
I'd rather see that.
Because like I said, this killing spree was kind of like, okay, we already know they were pieces of shit. Julia's a weirdo. She ends up stabbing herself in the neck. She do be getting hoed. She's always into, and that's what I was worried about. Because Julia, you do be in some satanic stuff, and it just be getting demonic. And I'm just like, please don't go that way. But they did. And him killing all these people was kind of like, okay, his arm was broken during the fight with Isaiah. And it's just like, I'm just like, this is getting weird. Like, I was like,
that's so funny. His arm was broken during the fight with him. And look at the picture as if he can hold up his arm.
Because,
so someone
like I said, 'cause we never
break his
saw
arm
this.
so we don't do this ending.
Yeah.
Because it looks better when he should have just accepted it, held up the footballs, and then we ended it with him going out the tunnel
going
as
into a
the
game.
Next one. And then they have a news story of how Isaiah White killed himself or he left on a vacation or he fully retired, and they maybe have a different version, some deep fake version of him with a I'm done with the game now, to show you that it never ends, because we don't believe it's never going to happen. No one's going to be able to beat the system of these owners. The owners get what they want no matter what, and even if they do die, guess what, their son or their grandson
or I also feel like
their nephew takes over.
Another depiction of the end too probably could have been like whenever, so maybe him and they basically, this wouldn't be a good one either, but if like him and Marlon had came out, like so Cameron and Isaiah came out at the same time, and then they're like, okay, who wants it more? And then like they fight in that little sacrificial thing, and then whoever dies, like the other person gets their blood, and then so maybe he does get his youth, or maybe he gets more of his skill and stuff and his experience, and then like that's how because greatness demands sacrifice, right? So one of you guys has to sacrifice
that
yourself.
Wouldn't be too bad if you had Marlon in the middle.
That's why the movie's so
and
bad.
Then no. See, no, I'm lying. I was like, no. What would have been cooler, because they brought one of the white guys in like he literally just levitated and he was brought over there. I was like, we're really going out. But if you're gonna I would rather have Marlon in the sacrificial thing. He's standing there like this pose, and then you see Marlon just like dissolve into like a skeleton or something, and then he dies, and then he becomes like, if you're gonna go all the way out, just go all the way out and do it. Like, it clearly was changed. It did not have the impact you should have had. And even the people in our audience after the movie was done, they were saying this. They were saying, oh, we didn't even get to see a football game. We should have seen part of a game. Have him go out and have his eyes at the end be like, and the new starter, Cameron Cade, and then it ends with his name on the back of the jersey, and he runs out, and we just go like, damn, you can't stop this shit. Then we sit there in the theater, sitting there like, wow, that is the game of football, isn't it? Like, no matter what we do, that next star, what are you willing to sacrifice?
And I think that probably was the end, and they changed it to whatever the fuck this bloodbath was.
Give me a director's, well, no, give me a director's cut, give me a Jordan Peele cut, I don't care. But you missed it, and you indeed, pun intended, you fumbled the shit out of this movie. Great concept. It was right there. It was very easy.
And it was great acting. Like, they were all really good actors.
Like, Marlon did a good job, especially with his scenes that he wasn't improv as strongly in. But I think he did a good job. But we'll get to the acting as it is. Tyreek Withers, you did a good job. We last saw you in I Know What You Did Last Summer, the reboot, and I thought you were decent.
Acting crazy as fuck in the middle of the street with Madeline Klein.
But this was a great performance by you. I feel like with what you were given, I feel like we could have had more emotional moments of the family aspect with you as a son trying to be the GOAT, but it wasn't there. But for Marlon Wayans, as we know him from the scary movies, we know him from all the comedy stuff that he does and kind of the ghetto stuff that he does.
Don't be a menace to South Central about drinking juice in the hood.
You did a great job of showing the comedy and horror is very close. It's just the act when comedians want to be serious and give you that horror or like serious performance, they can. And he was really giving it to you here as the person who sacrificed everything to be it. Julia Fox, you're right, did not need to be in the movie.
Yeah, she didn't. Because like I said, her and his family show honestly served no purpose.
I don't even know his family's name.
Him and like his girlfriend, like I said, Julia Fox and his girlfriend could have had, like I said, more in depth, like to their characters. But like I said, I feel like as though they really said, I feel like maybe all of what we said was probably in there, and then they said, nah, cut that out, make it Illuminati.
Because even Julia said it right before she said it when he was on the bench press or something. It was that one moment of humanity in her. Are you sure you want to do this?
Yeah.
And it's those moments I'm thinking, give me more of those. Like the last bits of, like when the doctor said run and everything, those last bits of, are you sure? And then you have Isaiah coming in like, don't bother with him or something, like, he wants to do this. That constant pressure from the greatness because you're up next. But
it doesn't matter because we didn't get to see his dad even do that to him. So when they do it, who cares? But
it is what it is. The acting was still great though in it for the people that were in it. But it is the pacing and the runtime. If you should have just made this an hour and 45 or 2 and really given us the emotion in it to where by the time he gets to the actual facility, we give a damn about Cameron Cade. We either want him to be the great quarterback on his own or we want him to get the hell up out of here because he is being groomed into something that he's not in general. It missed the mark. It fumbled very hard, and that's why we have.
And I also wish they would have used they would have used the owner a little bit more, like kind of him having flashbacks, like, oh, I seen that man in my games, and everything I was little. Yeah.
Have I seen him before? Like, have I not?
He was at that rainy practice that one time when my dad, like, almost, I was puking for 3 hours.
Like, he barely can kind of see him, or he just gets him mixed up with other white guys.
Or even take us back to the picture whenever he first saw, like, oh, like, this was, like, a deal my dad made, for this owner. It's like, we could have, like I said, more in-depth, more character development.
He sold you young. He pawned you off the youth. You're not protecting
And how does that affect you? And then, like I said, if you even use that, this ending, but the ending they did use where it was like this big bloodbath, that would have made more sense for him to have that revenge because now we've seen, oh, none of y'all cared about me. My dad didn't care about me. I don't give a fuck about this game.
The dad not caring about him would have been strong.
That's what I'm saying. My dad doesn't care about me. I don't care about this game. This doesn't save my life. I want to forget, who I was playing this for. Like, fuck all of you guys, and I'm going to kill every single one of you.
Because you almost killed me.
Because like I said, that gives me the revenge. And then also, like I said, like him maybe even seeing the person who hit him, that scene, that's why I said, guys, at the very beginning, whenever he first gets hit on the head, was so useless because it doesn't really matter or play into anything besides the fact whenever he was in the training and he hit the other dude on the head, and then, like I said, Isaiah was like, oh, that's where he is. Like,
it should have been a game, or it should have been someone that the owners and the people who were running it, they should have, let me know what you think of this. They should have paid one of his teammates or an opposing team or an opposing opponent to maybe sneak into the locker room and do it. Somewhere where it's like, it just seems unbelievable that this dude is training alone and he gets knocked out and no one can see it.
Lock up for me.
Lock up for me. It's
lock
so
up the
stupid.
gate. Like,
it would have been much more impactful if after he wins a big game, we see him in the locker room. Yeah, he tells his buddies bye, and then you get that whole thing of, is someone here? And then you get it in the locker room, and maybe we don't even see it. We just see an object. Then we get it revealed it's one of them because they snuck in and they did this to see how strong are you really versus out in the open like this. But, and then the ball spinning on the ground. Honestly, the ball spinning on the ground made me think of made me think of the shoe floating. I swear. Jordan, what the fuck did they tell you about this shit? Like, there's so much in this film. It just pisses me off that we're probably not going to get another movie like this for another 10, 20 years because you fumbled it so badly. And you could have had people who have never seen football, don't even care about sports, or maybe people who have always thought, this is football, this is football. And they can go, you know what? I don't like watching this brutal game because we already know the NFL already fucking stuff up with Colin Kaepernick stuff, which I still won't really forgive him for, putting the end racism thing at the end of the
when
end
someone
zones.
Tried to and you guys blackballed them.
It's just like that. And then of course, don't even get into the whole certain people that you want to Brett Favre, but yeah, certain people who I'm not mentioning his name, but he is very heavily talked about now. You doing some teams doing memorials for him, other people not doing memorials for him. How some always we don't want politics on our football, but then we want to shove politics here. There's so much stuff you can address. You could have made it 2 hours. It could have been generational. It could have been something we sat there and went, damn, remember that football horror movie that pretty much told us how football is? And we all still watch it, so we're kind of trapped watching it like this.
This really isn't a horror film at all. If anything, it might be like suspense or thriller. But it's
psychological. It could have been a great psychological
thriller
of a horror.
But you guys, like I said, a lot of things just fall. Like I said, a lot of it just falls flat. Yeah. Like I said, I wanted to leave. Yeah. And then it's just like
I'm surprised we remember this much of it. I think in the next couple days I'm gonna forget some of it because it just wasn't
like I said. I just feel bad for Tyreek because it's like I wish you. Of course, it wasn't your debut because you had been in stuff already, but I just wish it could have been even. It could have just been really great. And
I'm
maybe
not saying
like
Oscar
I said,
shit. I'm just saying this could have been your. Hey, remember Tyreek Withers in that really damn good film? Like remember, like people probably go like, "Oh, you're Cam Cade." Like that could have been your role. Like. You're Cam. I know him as Cam Cade. Like,
but I guess that's good too because maybe you're not typecasted yet because, or hopefully you don't, or hopefully you won't. But unless you want to.
But before we wrap it up, I did, of course, I did want to give a shout out to just a few people. Oh, for the music, I thought the music was really great in here. I thought it was pretty great. It was loud in a lot of parts, but it was overused in some transitions.
And rushed, yeah.
But when it hit. Especially that last song. You said it was Him by Denzel Curry. That was that's getting added to the playlist. That's pretty good. But shout out to Kira Kelly, the cinematographer. She did a really good job. Once again, works really well. Wow, she didn't really have that many that she's done. That's interesting. But really good. Really, I liked her in this. Nothing else that we really see. Oh, she's worked in Insecure as a cinematographer before. But still pretty good. I liked it. I liked how the movie looked. And I thought that if the producing was just better, there's a million producers on this thing, but they really did throw Jordan's name on here.
Because that would get people in the seats.
Because I was going to get people in the seats. But yeah.
Or guess what? He can take the criticism.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to say about this. Producers and directors, there's a lot that goes into a movie. So for people going online saying, I do like that when you do become great early, well, not early in your career, but early in his horror career, you can tell people were waiting for Jordan's mess up. And it showed here. People were like, see, I told you he wasn't that great. Look, your opinion about people's movies are what they are. But it's not his film. But I will say as a producer, whatever was holding you back, or if you did give as much as you could, it could have just been done better. But let's go ahead and give our rating for the film in general. Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead and tell what we gave it, or what you gave it, and what it is in general, and the reason why. We'll just give it as that.
So I gave it an F to be honest, because it actually, well, no. I said I would give it a D because of the acting. The acting wasn't like horrible to where it's like,
F
oh my God,
this is like holy crap.
No, like F is like, this is a complete waste of time. I do feel like it was a waste of time, but the acting was not bad to where it's like, I would give it an F. Like D is solely because of the acting. Like I said, the story was not good. I didn't care about any of the characters. No type of actual, I feel like true development, because we always kind of knew Cameron was good, and then he still ended up being good, but then you did slaughter a bunch of people, so and then also,
and is any of it real? That's the thing. Is any of this a real thing?
Yeah.
Or is it all his head injury? Because at this point, he might as well have had all that happen.
All that, yeah, and then
he wakes up after the injury, like, and
then his agent goes like, "Oh, do you want to train with Isaiah?"
And then he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
Oh no, he should be like, "Yeah."
That would have been fire.
Once again, and this is why.
He just smiles,
This is the D. Like there's a lot of things. Like I said, this is a really good base film where you can build on it in a lot of ways, but they just didn't do that, and they went the Illuminati demonic route. And then there was even a scene where they were like speaking in tongues, and I said, I rebuke this. What's happening?
And we're so done with cult films. Stop doing them. Fuck. Just stop doing cult films. But okay, you said D, and I would also agree it is a D. It can't get an F because it is right now, D for disappointing. It is the most disappointing film of the year.
what I
I
say,
personally had high praise for this, high stakes going into it. I thought it was going to be one of the better films of the year. I thought it was even going to be a top 5. I thought we were going to sit here and go, Sinners is really good, Weapons is really good, and then remember Him, like Him was pretty good. No. This is definitely one where if you want to go to the movies and see it, whatever.
No,
but it
don't
is
go
a
to the
watch
movies and
from
see it unless
home.
you're
Not gonna lie,
going
watch from home
on Tuesday.
and it just wasn't there, y'all. We're just gonna be honest with you, and we already knew about the people's opinion going before, and this is a good indicator when it comes to films. If you don't see a lot of reviews coming out for a film until the very couple days before, that tells you the studios themselves were keeping shit quiet, because we didn't hear reviews for it until like a couple of days before the film came out. Then they came out, and now people are really getting onto it. But it's not some masterpiece. It's not some iconic thing. It's just it's a dud. It's a dud. It's a fumble. So that's what we gave it. We gave Him a D. Any last thoughts on the film or anything of that
No,
nature?
Tyreek, I hope you have.
I think you'll still have a great career.
Yeah, I just hope you have better roles, because I have seen you now as 2 football players.
Yeah. But anyways, those are our thoughts on the movie Him. Of course, we'll be able to give you guys some. We have some movies that are upcoming that will hopefully they are well. But it's been a big year for horror, thriller, suspense. It's been a pretty big year. A lot of big ones have come out this year. So not all of them. Damn it, not all of them can be great. So.
And guys, just let us know in the comments what you think about like Marlon's pinky always being broken. I don't understand why that is. No, like in the movie theater, like in the movie posters, like there's a lot of them like holding it up and his pinkies are broken.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand it, and I
A scene that was cut.
I just haven't been able to, because it would be different. Maybe his like, oh, you watched a movie and you're like, oh, because he broke his pinkies during a play, but it's like no, like
Yeah. Let us know in the comments what you think about it. If you loved it, let us know why. You know, if you really enjoyed it, let us know what you thought about it, and let us know, of course, what you guys want to see next. We have quite a few horror movies that are horror, thriller, suspense that are coming up on the channel as well.
Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, but as anyways, this has been the report card. My name's been Zay.
No, my name's Ben.
Yeah,
my name is.
My name is. Yeah.
Yes.
But my name's Zay. It's Chris, and as always, make sure to
like, comment, and subscribe.
And we will see you next time on the Zay's Walk channel. Peace out.